There was a game designed to look perfect, quiet, controlled, and elegant. It wasn't meant to be for everyone. It was meant for the nobility only. And the person who loved it the most could see it losing its spark. Princess G was raised to preserve tradition, to keep the rules intact and ensure nothing ever changed. But the longer she obeyed, the more the game's true potential suffered for it. This game was called Chakoru, and it belonged to the nobles of the Shina kingdom, to nobles like Princess G. Life at court felt like rehearsing for a role she hadn't chosen. It all felt distant from anything real. So in the evenings when the light softened and no one was paying attention, Princess G slipped through an old servant's gate and walked into the city. That's where she met Wonho. He was in the street, alone, juggling a worn leather ball. His style was rough, very untrained, but somehow exact. G stopped and watched. Wonho thought she was just another girl passing by. She didn't tell him otherwise, so he showed her things the palace never had. How to read a player by the way they shifted their weight, how instinct mattered more than form, and how the game lived in movement, not ceremony. G picked it up all quickly. What Wonho never told her, though, was that he had magic. In those days, magic wasn't admired. It made people nervous. Some thought it could defend kingdoms, and others believed it always came with a cost. Wonho kept quiet because being quiet was safer. They didn't stay hidden, though. Guards caught Wonho walking G home one night and dragged him before the court. G stepped forward before anyone could stop her. "He isn't a criminal," she said. "He's the finest player in all of Shinha." The nobles laughed, and so G challenged them. Wonho would face 6 palace athletes on his own. If he won, he would be allowed to teach Princess G quietly, without interference. If he lost, he would be imprisoned. He defeated all 6 players. Without breaking a sweat, he moved the ball around them towards the goal like a ghost. And so Wonho entered the palace in secret. G taught him to read, to navigate court life. He taught her in return how to truly play the game. They married years later. But then the game began to shift. Across Adin, players started using magic. Brief portals to direct the ball, bending the match around raw power. Princess G hated it. Wonho defended it. They argued for weeks. But then Wonho's knee gave out. An old injury, finally catching up to him. G saw what Wonho would not say. Not fear of pain, but fear of losing the game he had built his life around. Chakoru had to change as a sport, but not in a way that erased the people who shaped it. She proposed a balance, 1 magic user per team, 6 short-lived portals per match, maximum. Magic could influence the game, but never replace it entirely. The nobles resisted, but the crowds didn't. Across Adin, tournaments began to adopt the rule, and the integration of magic eased the strain on Wonho's knee. He returned to the field older and slower. He took up his position near the center, guiding the match with small sparks of light and perfect timing. And that's the moment history remembers, when Chakoru stopped belonging to the nobles and finally became Adin's game.